first time I had an idea that Russ was special probably was that first time I saw him. You can just tell, can't coach tall, can't coach certain athletic things, right?
You could tell wanted to be here and wanted to excel.
I wanted to come in here and, make my own legacy, make my own history here at Miami, so that was going through my head.
When I first met Russ, I didn't actually meet him. I saw him at the Florida High School state meet his junior year. Saw him come down the runway a couple times, like, okay, this kid has some skills. Also, unbeknownst to me at the time, his dad, Reynolds, was sitting right next to me. I had no idea who he was. And sometimes parents will just kind of little look-a-loos, but they're cool. They're like, oh, who are you checking out? I'm like, oh, this kid in the blue and orange over here. Anyway, Russ's dad goes, hey, you got a business card? I'm like, oh yeah, why? Hi, Rob Jarvis, nice to meet you. He's like, oh, Reynolds Robinson, that's my son.
When I first met Jarvis, this is my first time down in Miami, actually being to the campus and seeing the schools, picturing myself here at this school. Where can I see myself here in the future? Can I see myself living in Miami, being in a Canes uniform? It was an exciting experience because it was also my first official visit for any school.
Really nice kid, really focused kid. We were really excited and just he wanted to be here, and Coach Jarvis worked really hard to make it happen. Still a high school senior, but definitely wanted to be here and had aspirations of being great.
Obviously, as we'll probably get into it, came in as a recruited walk-on, and the rest is history.
When I first came in with 3 other guys as a freshman, and there was already somebody here. Came in as the worst.
At the time, we had a pretty big jumps group, and he was, until he'll say it, he was the bottom one on the totem pole. I'm going to compliment just the medical team, strength and conditioning staff we have. They identified at the time that he had a lot of weakness in his hips. And so you could be strong on the legs, strong upper body, but as a jumper, not strong to the core, can be tragic.
You ultimately just want to get better as a person, as an athlete. So what do I need to do next time to, go jump further, do better, fix my technique?
Russ is never afraid to work, and that was he's always been an overachiever, whether it's the weight room, whether it's on the track. He's never been afraid to work. He was in and he was all in, and he just really, really wanted to be good. And we have somebody who wants to be here and wants to be good, and wants to be great actually. Then it's you just to watch the growth. It's been really fun to watch. And
during COVID, going into 21, he took the time to take their evaluations to heart, spent the time in the weight room, spent the time in the training room, and you see that was the first time he jumped 16 meters, was that next season. Fast forward last season to Mount Sac, first time he broke 17, I was like, holy, this is big.
Well, this is Russell Robinson, the senior from Miami. His first attempt, he would send one way out there. He would come up out of the sand and he would go 55 feet even. This would be a personal best for him, and nobody would be able to catch him.
Silent assassin in some ways, where it's just, if you look at his demeanor to me, literally, there's little to no emotion.
With track, for sure, I'm just silent. I like to let the athletic performance speak for itself. I actually did grow up playing football, and people always told me I was the nicest kid off the field, but on the field it just snapped. It's you against yourself, really. You're competing against other people, but you're competing against yourself first. So that mindset is always in the back of my head. Just give it your all. Give your 100% every day and go out there and compete. Leave it all out on the track.
Here in Boston, it's the men's triple jump. Well, this is Russell Robinson, the senior from Miami, and look at the start of this run. He's clear out there into lane 1. Takes a couple of skip steps, and then he heads down the runway. He was second at the ACC Indoor Championship, 8th at the NCAA Indoors last year, 2nd outdoors at the NCAA Championships, and on his first attempt, he would send one way out there.
Before the competition started, I told him, you have to lay it down on the first one. Because it's one of those things where, when you put one out there and the whole field knows they can't get there, just watch everyone else just try to chase.
From the start, I just wanted to go out and put a jump out there and let people have to come catch me,
Everyone's just posture kind of set up when you put that first jump out there. And I just told him, close the door.
Don't try and force anything now. Just go work on your craft, work on your technique, and let everything happen. So I gotta still compete and act like I'm not even at the top of the board right now. But in my head, I couldn't sit still. I was just pacing back and forth, telling myself, be like, I can't go home without this chip right now. But watching Jeremiah and Luke run down the runways, and then their jump not being further on their sixth jump, it was a wave of relief. And then I was at the back of the pit, and I saw Jarvis and Coach Dean hugging, and Jarvis was dapping up coaches. I was like, yeah, like it was a feeling of relief that I actually did this. You know, it's over now.
To, you know, just be present and really stay in the moment. It was just really special to see him do that. For it all to come together at that time was very special. Being at a national championship, being one of the favorites to win a national championship. And I think that's where, you know, we've seen the biggest growth in Russ. You know, clearly, you know, he's developed and become a great triple jumper and, you know, long jumper, but I think just to see him really believe and truly see himself on that stage has been the biggest growth.
For him, I think I want to compliment Russ and his family. And it was one of those things where coaches will come into a living room and sell everyone the world, but just to actually deliver. And I can say truly here at the U, we do. And it was just any encouragement I give the athletes that are coming up to be student athletes is that just know what they want. If everyone wants to be an Olympian, everyone wants to be a champion, but it's just like, how do you get there? Have a plan. And it's just once you do show up to campus, hopefully by the time you make a decision, the coaching staff should have given you a pretty well laid out plan of what that first couple of years is going to look like. And if you stick to what we do, you're going to get to where you want to go. We sit in living rooms every year trying to recruit young men and young women to the University of Miami. And it's like, I know people know that we're for real. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's nice seeing that it played out the way that it did. And again, hopefully there'll be many, many more like him that come through here.
But after nationals, you know, it's an Olympic year. We're going to Paris this year, baby. So my goal is not just to make it on the team, but it's to, you know, do something in Paris. I want to go out there and win the gold one day. So do my best. And you know, like the main goal for me is to have fun along this whole journey. You don't want to stress it too much, because then what are you out here for? You know? I
think his future is just really what he wants it to be. I mean, everything is there for him to take, and I think, you know, he's put himself in a position to excel both on and off the track, and hopefully the sport he'll be able to stay in the sport for a while, because I think there's still more for him I think there's still more development, and I don't think you've seen the best of Russell Robinson yet.